Welcome, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us. You've obviously been a judge on the awards for many, many years over different panels as well. So a lot more experience than most. So we just wanted to ask you some questions to help entrants that maybe have entered before, or people that haven't entered, don't know where to start, or don't know what there is to gain from entering awards, really. So my first question to you would be, why do you feel the awards ceremonies that are around are important to the industry, and how can people gain from entering awards?
It's a brilliant question, how people can, what we gain from entering the awards. The thing I mean, I've sort of been involved with the awards, 15, 20 years, depending on which awards and that sort of stuff. The biggest thing that gave me positivity for my team was a focus for the year. It's something that we worked on all the way through the year. We planned the awards. We had a file for good things we've done. At the end of every single week, my whole management team and my dentist had to fill out a sort of a pro forma of success for the week, and then things they needed help with. Because we all know that during the week, all you do focus on going home on a Friday is that one thing that's really pushed you over the edge. You know, it's a pressure environment working in the dental industry. And we're a team, and if one member of staff drops, that going home at the end of the Friday thinking, I wish David worked on this, wish Philip had done that, or something like that. But if you've got a list of real positives that you can look at, you end up with 10 positives and one patient who's pushed you over the edge.
Yeah.
And it's the same in every single thing that we do. So that the awards formed part of an amazing journey, and it's a celebration of the good things. We very rarely get in anything, well done, you've done a good job. The commissioners in the NHS, they don't often know our name unless you make an effort and you have a relationship with them. So that was often we found that area we could stimulate and work with. The media, well, they love kicking a dentist whilst they're down there. It's all our fault, the money grabbing dentist or what have you. So having something that caused my team to reflect once or twice a year that actually we do a really good job is worth its absolute weight in gold. It gave you that. Do you know what? It gave possibilities through the year. It gave that focus. So it's almost by the time the awards are given, well, I don't need that anymore. I've personally, we've moved on from that. We've got these projects that we're moving on to. So it gave us that reason to do things. And that's what I loved about the awards. It wasn't the actual, maybe the shiny plaque or what have you. It's actually what it represents. It's positivity within our profession. And we do amazing what we do. To be fair, for the cost centers we work in, the successes we have with our patients, we literally make them smile, and these awards made my team smile. So that's why when you guys asked me a long time ago to be a judge, I jumped at the chance because it was my opportunity to give back to my profession. It's not about a table and a bit of a party. It's about the positivity it gives our profession.
Yeah, we hear that a lot, actually, that people embark on this awards journey, but actually it's how much you have to look at your business and your practice and how it functions that actually you learn so much from it as well.
I think it's amazing as a judge to see the most rewarding thing is to see an entry evolve over multiple years, because we do recognize entries. You know, have you seen how they've moved that practice on, or what they've done, or how they've evolved? And that's the rewarding part, because you see that practice, you see it go from 3 staff to 6 staff, and then it goes to 18 staff. And what have they done this year? You know, it's so rewarding for that profession to see that development. Well, I've not been involved in it, but you can see that motivation. Say, well, I'm going to grow. I'm going to do something. I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And I also see that with FMC, how your team's evolved and how I've got close relationships with everybody there now. And it's such a beneficial to see other teams, how they've grown. And it's
in a different sector. And
absolutely. And
we enter awards too, you know, we live and breathe it, but we enter them as well because we know the benefit of that. And it does make us dig deep into the business and what we've achieved over a year and actually what we could change. So it works.
Doesn't that sort of show you why you believe in awards? Because actually you enter them as well. So they must be worthwhile doing.
Yeah, then on many levels, you know, don't get me wrong, we use it in the marketing afterwards. It looks good for a brand to have that, whether you've been a finalist or a winner. But the process of it, it really, you learn something from it.
So it's always, I sold my business, it was 5 years ago now, which scares me. But you get, when you sell or get out of your business or retire or leave at the end, you get this couple of days. But the actual journey, you reflect back, and the journey being in that moment and reflecting, being present, is the biggest learning curve I've had. So what I've been working on over the last 2 years is be present, enjoy the moment, because that's where you are. And the awards are a night, but actually the process is a year, is multiple years of investment in your team to and eventually hit that. And it you see that with the entries, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you can win, then that really is the icing on the cake. And like you say, it's not everything, but it certainly makes it all worthwhile, and it's something to take back to the practice and take back to your patients as well.
The more I've gone through it, it's that process that's the valuable part. But the strut you get when you walk up to that stage and you collect the award is like, you always say it's your team because that's the polite thing to do, isn't it? But actually, you've led that journey. You've created this. And whether it's the young dentist of the year, the dental nurse of the year, the hygienist therapist, they've been through a thing since they were 16 to get to this point. And then it kicks on. And what's it for? What? Because people notice you. The brands notice you. The dental professional, the public notices. And it's worth it. It's worth its weight in gold. Even down to my awards went into my commissioning documents, and they won me contracts. You know. So
it really was worth a while.
100%, really, because you actually have to demonstrate, and it's a lot of the tendering documents you do within the NHS actually have awards you've won, the category for, you know, demonstrate that you are good at what you do, and you can't demonstrate better than a plaque or a certificate or something you've done, and it shows you stand out from the rest. So you get points. Points prizes. That's good.
Always. So as a judge, across many panels, seeing multiple different categories and entries throughout the years, what's the most common mistake that you've seen or repeatedly see from entrants or the entries that they submit?
I wouldn't call you see what we discuss when we're with the judging panels as mistakes, but it's not mistakes. It's that evolution of entries. You start up in a place where we put everything in. You send in your BJA Coca-Cola awards for forward rolls, and you know it's like certificates say you're a different dentist or a different therapist or a different. But what you actually evolve into doing is say, how do I stand out? What are these things that make me stand out? Some of my favorite awards, the majority of the real favorite awards are the ones that are organic and actually look like the member staff has spent so long doing these, they're putting them in. We get some amazing ones which are all techie and fancy and embedded in this and done with that. But what I love to see is actually the process. I like to be able to say, when it talks about leadership, tell me about your leadership. What has your staff done? Because my most proudest moment within my dental journey was a cadet who went all the way to becoming one of my operational managers in my business. And that was that evolution. That was a big success for me to show that. So how do you demonstrate that? And what's the evidence? Not just saying, I bought a practice. You know,
the journey, the story.
Demonstrate, show me the story.
Yeah.
The difficult part is telling that story that doesn't make me go, oh my God, I've got 400 of these to mark. And you've tried to fill in everything. You know, what makes you stand out? Answer the questions. If you answer the questions within this process, you will go a long way. And make it simple for me to mark. That's the key. That's the key. You make it simple for the just mark. You answer the questions. and you make it simple to mark, you'll go a long way in this competition.
Yeah.
If you send me your CV,
so just following that criteria, ticking those boxes, but keeping you engaged with it, and actually making it interesting, telling that story, giving it a personality.
Yeah,
it shines through, even though you're only looking at a document.
Yeah, massive, and it's brilliant. And when you get someone who does it, it doesn't have to be all dancing, the right font and things, because between you and me, I'm dyslexic and I'm also colorblind, but that's a different conversation. I love to see someone who pushes boundaries and says, when they're talking the training for the team, please don't put your CPR. We have to do that legally. Where you've invested in your team, we've gone out and done this, we're here, we're doing. And it doesn't have to be, I've been to Paris for the weekend with the team. Actually, we regularly close the practice for half a day a week, and I sit down with them. I love it when I see the dentist. I made the birthday cakes. Every week we used to have with our team, the dentists used to cook breakfast for the team once a month. So the dentist would do a full breakfast for the team. So they come in, and that's teamwork. And it costs nothing. So those moments, and we had a barbecue where the dentist cooked for all at lunchtime. It's nothing. It's just that make an effort with your team.
Yeah.
And the dental nurses ran the practice for the day. Well, to be fair, they ran the practice every single day, but demonstrating that where they had the support and the processes. So it's those things that you look at the mistake and think, take a step back, talk to a patient what's important, demonstrate that, and that comes across in the entry rather than the mistakes, which are, here's my CV, look at a typical dentist. I mean, with greatest respect, look at my CV, look what I've done, look who I am. No. It's look how you've empowered people, what's the result of doing things, and that is something that's really special. So that's the mistakes that often happen.
Okay. Nice. And then what role do you feel case studies or testimonials play within an entry, or as supporting evidence as a whole?
I've got a different view on case studies. I've got a different view on everything, man, and you know that.
That's what makes you great.
Maybe. I always look at, there's two different types of case studies, because if you're going for the clinical awards, that's a dentist or a dental therapist or a hygienist or a dental nurse looking at the margins and all that sort of stuff. You're looking at these presentations.
Yeah.
The key for me is, what about the patient? What did they think? What have you sat down with them and done a proper interview at the beginning of your journey? How was that marked out? What is their feelings? How did they like? What they not like about their smile? What's their pains? What do they actually want? And between you and me, dentistry isn't just 3 to 3. There are parallel back teeth. And so actually having a full range of treatment is really important for clinical case presentation, because we all see the straighter teeth after doing treatments and that sort of stuff. But for me, it's always about, well, how did that impact with the patient? What did they like about it?
Yeah.
How did that empower them not to be pain anymore? So suddenly what was the result? Why did they come to see you in the first place? And patients, they buy smiles. They don't personally buy veneers. They might actually just want a really good clean. And actually that conversation is to see a dentist who goes, I had this patient who came in, and I coordinated my team to give oral hygiene instruction, and that's improvement. If I can see here's a case study of oral hygiene improvement, keep it simple. The gums are pink now. How's that impacted the patient? They're going to keep their teeth the rest of their lives. They've now controlled their diabetes because I spoke to their GP. So it's that coordination of things, which is amazing. When you get one of those patients who sits down with a therapist or a dentist or a dental nurse to coordinate, this is how I've achieved, that's a game changer. That's an absolute game changer. If I see another 3 to 3 smile makeover, I'll often just flick through those, because
it's good to see good clinical work, but actually it's everything else that goes on. And I think just from seeing entries myself, it's that full story again. So a case study should be the full story. It should be what that patient came in, what they presented with, and what they wanted, what the outcome that they wanted was, and then actually to hear from them afterwards, and whether that's just a short written testimony or a little video, just to how it's changed them. And I don't know if you agree, but I often feel something that can be missed, or something that really complements an entry, is testimonials from the team as well, of why they why they like working at that practice, why they like working within that team, or how they are involved with patients, especially when it comes to the actual dental work as well. So if you're doing a case study, what part did the rest of the team play in that? You've spoken about it, but hear from them directly is really nice to actually complement that. It doesn't need to be a full 5-page document, just a little something to say what they were involved in and actually why that's important to them and their career.
It's beautiful to see one of the team members owning the patient journey, and you're there is almost a parachute. Stepped away from this, and actually this is Faye, who ran my homeless service, and that's that empowerment to see that journey within the practice, to see this, and to see my dental nurses running homeless clinics or doing that themselves, that they've gone out and done.
And
what's their thoughts on that? How does that make them feel? And how you as a dentist in the Dentist Awards of the Year empowered your team to do that, and what are the results? So the results are that case studies. So case studies are really, really, really important, but take a step back and saying, what are you trying to present here? Not just teeth. The person is attached to these teeth. So you'll see a clinician who is amazing at this smile journey, and they make some beautiful clinical work at the end, and the margins are perfect, but talk why that's important to the dentist. Look at these, point this out, look at and critique how maybe you could improve, because it's about reflection. You could look at the patient. You haven't done a big smile journey, but you just enabled them to eat. That basic dentistry. And I adore when you see some simple fillings, some class 5s, some occlusal fillings, but they've been done within an inch of their lives. It's like, this is my normal dentistry. This is who I am.
And I'm still doing that really well. That's still important for like you say, the basic dentistry to be done well, and how that affects the patient.
And I also remember that when Nilesh ran over, Ben, have you seen this patient? I said, yeah, look at this one. And so we get inspiration from that, and it's that's the thing that empowers the judges to move forward. When you've got someone, because we all then remember that patient, we all remember that moment of the judge getting excited and running over and looking at, have you seen this? So it's brilliant, isn't it? So it's like, the dental geeks, sorry.
No, we do see that, and that is something that entrants and patients wouldn't ever be aware of, but actually it's what happens on the judging day, and actually how much judges gain from it as well, because you get that from it. But also I hear so many times judges go, have you seen what these guys do in this practice? I'm going to do that in my practice. But don't tell the entrants that. They'll tell us everything now. So you were doing that anyway.
The amount of ideas I've stolen from awards, so please don't.
So then, Ben, finally, as based on your experience as an entrant and a judge and what you've seen, what would be your top tip to someone who maybe is already entering, or it's their first time entering? What would you say this is your top tip to them?
My top tip is read the questions and answer the questions. That's simple. If you answer the questions in a methodical 1 page for each answer, simple 1 page for each answer, but reflect, if you were as a entry, reflect, did I answer the question? And that's it. There's nothing else. Nothing else. But that goes back to GCSE history, doesn't it? Answer the question they ask. You've done that.
Read the question properly was where I fell down every time.
And also turn over the page, which always you could get those elements.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for that, Ben. I think that's going to be so helpful for everyone. So thank you for your continued involvement, but thank you for today and letting us have that insight from you as an entrant and a judge and dentist.
It's an honour, I must admit, to do. I love the award seasons, and it's an honour to work with you guys.